Week 3, we're going to explore the sacred traditions and what each one of those traditions says about the good life and how to obtain happiness. I want to begin with the Jewish and Christian tradition that is Judaism and Christianity. There are two texts we're going to explore together in this instructional video. The first text is the book of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes is a book that is found in the Hebrew Bible. Okay, so that's Judaism. And the second text we will study together on the concept of the good life is Matthew chapter 5, 6, and 7. The book of Matthew is one of the four Gospels found in the New Testament. The New Testament is the second part of the Bible, whereas the Old Testament or the Hebrew scripture is the first part of the Bible. So the book of Ecclesiastes is found in the first part of the Bible, and the book of Matthew is found in the second part of the Bible. So in a sense, Ecclesiastes belongs to both Judaism and Christianity, because Christians also use the first part of the Bible. So I want to begin with the book of Ecclesiastes. I'm going to share with you some ideas what this book says about the happy and the good life. Afterwards, we're going to explore together the Sermon on the Mount. That's the title of the passage found in Matthew 5-7. Okay, let's begin. So the book of Ecclesiastes is one of the most profound and philosophical books in the Hebrew scripture. It's a thought-provoking text in the Hebrew Bible. The book was written by a person, a person who just bears the name Koheleth, Q-O-L-E, I'm sorry, Q-O-H-E-L-E-T-H, Q-O-H-E, Koheleth, L-E-T-H. So it's a Hebrew word, simply means the teacher or the preacher. So many Hebrew scholars believe we do not know who wrote the book. I mean, the person who wrote the book, but the scholars have attributed this text to the Koheleth, the person the teacher or the preacher. Overall, the book of Ecclesiastes, this is the English translation, explores the meaning of life. It explores the pursuit of meaning, happiness, fulfillment, or human flourishing. So the book supposes the possibility of happiness in a world marked by uncertainty, injustice, chaos, and a deep sense of mystery. As I mentioned before, Ecclesiastes is a pure philosophical text. It does have some theological insights, but it should first be analyzed as a philosophical book. Then from there, we can deduct some theological, some religious insights or wisdom from it. So Ecclesiastes does not provide a simple answer on how to pursue the good life and how to live ever happily ever after. Uh, and the teacher Koheles does not pretend that life in this world of impermanence, this world of injustice, the world of mystery, uh, will bring us to a fulfilled or satisfied life. In fact, the author of this book is on a journey with us. He or she invites us to strive to do what's good, but to wrestle honestly with tensions of this life. So, the question we should be asking is this: what does it mean to live well? What does it mean to live a fulfilled or satisfied life in a world we cannot fully control or comprehend? Because the author of the book does make that assumption that this is a world human beings cannot control, even through our more advanced technologies. We cannot control this world, you know? And the book also prompts us to ask a series of questions. For example, uh, is happiness possible in this world? What role does humility play in the pursuit of a meaningful life? What role humility play in the pursuit of a fulfilled or satisfied life? And, another question that is more religious or theological could be explored in this way: what does it mean for you and I to fear God in a world that feels uncertain? What does it mean for us as human beings to fear God in a world that is full of uncertainty? Those are some questions. I'm inviting you to reason with me, to think with me, because this is the book of Ecclesiastes really portrays the good life or the satisfied life that is often countered to modern expectations or to modern understanding of the good life. Because the book begins with a phrase, an interesting phrase: vanity of vanities. This is found in the very first chapter of the book, chapter 1, verse 2. So here, the author is talking about that life in this world is fragile. So everything is vanity. In other words, okay, everything is vapor. Everything is a breath. So this is what the word hevel, that's the Hebrew word that translates as vanity. So it means vapor, it means breath, it means smoke, right? So everything is fleeting, you know? Everything is fleeting, something beautiful, but everything is fleeting. That's why vanities of vanities, even the most important thing that we treasure in this world, they come and they will go. Kohelet advances a number of a number of criticisms for people who believe the pursuit of happiness could be attained through pleasure, through wealth, through wisdom, knowledge, through work. In fact, he says that wisdom, even the wise person will die. Okay? He also states that pleasure, and in terms of food such as wine, wealth, entertainment, music, nightclubs, um, field trips, you name it, good food. He says that those things in this world that we so enjoy do not bring lasting joy, because they come, they go. We are born, we also die. Now, he also advances a critique on work. Okay. You may have heard some people say work is freedom. Well, the book of Ecclesiastes, I mean, states that work is hard, work is exhausting. It says that everything that we do, the fruits of our labor, will be left to other people when we die. Okay? Justice. He says that justice does not exist in this world. Justice, which contributes to the good life, to the satisfied life, to the blessed life. So Kohelet advances another critique. He says that, in fact, injustice prevails in every area of our personal and collective life. Okay? So for Kohelet, human attempts to find ultimate meaning, okay, in earthly things like entertainment, he says these things are doomed. We are doomed to be disappointed because we will not find true joy, ultimate meaning through these things, right? If that's the case, how does he conceived or the good life, or what is this author's proposal to pursue the satisfied life? Well, the book of Ecclesiastes is extremely realistic. It's profound. We are learned that in the midst of life uncertainties, okay, in the midst of life's paradoxes, Kohelet urges everybody to find joy, to find contentment, to find pleasure in what we are able to control in this life. what is it that we are able to control? He says that, well, these are the simple daily gifts of life. These are the things as human beings we are able to control in this life. In fact, he says in chapter 2, verse 24, he affirms, there is nothing better than to eat, to drink, and find enjoyment in one's toil. That means one's work. So, for this author, just enjoy life, okay? If you like to eat, enjoy what you eat. If you like to drink, enjoy what you drink. He's not telling people to get drunk, okay? Or to become, I don't know, to not to control what you eat, not to eat healthy foods. This is not what he's saying. He's not making any recommendations for people to go above what they are able to do in terms of finding enjoyment in what they drink, what they eat, or what they enjoy in life. Again, what does he recommend? Well, the simple things, the gifts of life. So enjoy your meals, take pleasure in what you do. Okay? In my case, I'm a professor, I'm an educator, I'm a department chair, I'm a supervisor. So I should take joy in what I do on a daily basis. Okay? He also commends people. He makes a recommendation to us to delight or to enjoy, okay, companionships. So companionships or relationships entail the relationships that we forge with friends, the relationships that we have created with our spouses, those of you who are married, or the relationship we have cultivated with our girlfriends, boyfriends, or partners. So for him, relationships matters. Relationships do create do introduce or contribute to the good life. He also commends people because life is short, because life is uncertain, live joyfully. Live joyfully. This is in chapter 11, right? The book of Ecclesiastes has 12 chapters, I believe. So, because life is short, because life is uncertain, just enjoy life, okay? Now, for this author who has a sharp philosophical mind, the good life is not about our ability to master the world or to know everything in the universe. The good life does not consist of in the pursuit of knowledge or in the pursuit of education. He's not saying education is wrong, or he's not saying that knowledge is a mistake. He's simply stating that because of our finite life, that means we will die. Everybody will die. Everything, because everything is vanity. Therefore, the good life, what constitutes the good life, is not our ability to master the things of this world, but rather it's about our willingness, our disposition, our intention to learn how to live with grace. to learn how to live in the present, to learn how to live with humility. Because wisdom, knowledge, they all will die. They all will die. They come and will die because they have their own limits. That's what he could say. Okay, there's a time to be born, there's a time to die. Okay, the future is not knowable. Time and chance matter, affect everything in life. He's also arguing that because no one can escape death as a human experience, as an existential experience, therefore, therefore, learn how to live in respect of our finitude. Okay? So, what is the takeaway? Well, the takeaway is this: a fulfilled life in this world requires humility, not certainty. It's humility. Okay? So, how shall we live? Well, again, he begins with a philosophical declaration. He's going to end with a theological or religious declaration. In chapter 12, verse 13, he says, "Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of men, of human beings." For Koheleth, for the teacher or the preacher, first of all, we have to live in respect or in reverence. There is a God, God exists, whom he portrays as our creator. So we have to live in awe. This is what it means by fear, in awe, in reverence. Second, we have to accept the limits or the limitations set upon us. Everyone is limited. Finally, he says that we have to obey God's moral principles. We have to live according to God's moral principles. You see, the book advances a countercultural argument, a countercultural vision of the good life, pleasure, and the pursuit of happiness. This book teaches us that human flourishing is not found in wealth, fame, sex, drugs, entertainment, or achievement, control, or certainty, but it is found in the simple things of life, the gifts of life. That means gratitude for the present moment, for life that we have, acceptance of our limitations, and obey God's commands. There we go. So let me leave you with some reflection questions. How does Ecclesiastes challenge modern views of the good life, of success, pleasure, or happiness? What role does humility play in the future or in the pursuit of a meaningful life? And finally, what does it mean for anybody, for you and I, according to Koheleth, the teacher, the preacher, to fear God in a world full of uncertainty, in a world where we cannot predict the future. I hope that was helpful to you.